Hi everyone, my name is Ariel. I'm a program graduate and field instructor at Outdoor Outreach, and I would just like to say welcome to Outdoor Outreach Community Connect. In this time of uncertainty, we're working on ways to stay connected with the Outdoor Outreach community and participants to bring updates and ways to stay engaged with the outside world, including responsible ways to get outside and stay engaged during the COVID-19 crisis. If you missed it, we've been streaming live on Facebook every Monday. You can find those at Outdoor Outreach or also on this channel or on Instagram. As a reminder, we've also been doing this egg challenge. I'm going to be introducing you to Brandon. He's an instructor out in the field, and he's going to be teaching you the fundamentals of magic.
Thanks, Ariel. Hi, my name is Brandon, and I'm a field instructor and program graduate here at Outdoor Outreach. I'd like to mention that I am also a proud part of the graduating class of 2020 at San Diego State's Recreation Tourism program. Watch until the end where we link a special feel-good news to recognize all the graduates. Today I'm going to teach you about a personal passion of mine. Magic. Specifically, card magic. Now, we're going to be going over the fundamentals. What you learn today isn't going to just apply to card tricks, but all magic. Before we get started, I want to issue a warning. Magic is all about mystery and bewilderment. Once you learn how a trick is done, the magic, it can go away for some people. So, if you don't want to ruin that illusion, I recommend you skip to later in the video. Are you still here? Great. Let's grab your top hat, grab some cards, and let's get started. In today's lesson, I'm going to go over what you need to perform magic, some basic magic terminology, a few techniques you can use, and a few tricks that use those techniques. So let's get right into it. First, what are you going to need to perform magic? Well, for today's lesson, you're going to need a deck of cards. You can get this from any local store. What some people don't know is you don't need a brand new deck to start learning magic. I actually recommend using an old beat-up deck like this, because that way you don't have to worry about ruining the deck. So if you can, get two decks, one for practicing and one for actually showing off the trick. Looks a lot cleaner and you don't have to worry about the mess. Some other items you can use, a bandana for some pretty simple tricks, and even some string goes a long way for rope tricks. I recommend getting a lot so you can keep practicing. Lastly is what we're doing right now, instruction. It's probably the most important thing you're going to need to learn magic. I'm not the only person out there who makes videos on how to perform magic. There's plenty of other videos you can find. You can also buy a book like this. This is probably one of my personal favorites. It's by Mark Wilson. This is a complete course. It's about 400 pages, and it goes over anything from card tricks to coin tricks, even full-on illusions. So don't be afraid to, after this video is over, go out into the internet and see what you can find and keep on learning. Another thing people think you need to buy is a magic kit. I actually don't really recommend buying one. Unless you know that you're heavily invested in magic and you want to actually get into it, you don't need it. All you really need is some of these basic items. It's going to take you a long way, and if you are interested, then I'd recommend buying a full magic kit. Let's talk terminology. These are phrases and words you're going to hear a lot of when you start to learn magic. Some of these phrases are pretty straightforward, but I want to go a little in-depth on them. First, let's talk misdirection. Misdirection is when you make someone look at something, like over here, when in reality, the trick is happening somewhere else. Misdirection is important in magic because when you're first starting off, you don't want people to notice what you're doing, the subtle little tricks. The next term I want to talk about is riffle. This one's pretty simple. You may already know it, just not by this term. Riffle means when you take a deck of cards and just go through it, just like this. I'm sure you've seen it done 1,000 times, you just may not know it was called riffle. The next term is shuffle. Shuffle means in any way whatsoever, you're going to make this deck of cards change order. It could be overhand, just like this, a nice jog. It can even be messing the whole thing up on a big pile and picking it up. Whatever makes the deck change is called a shuffle. The next term is force. Not Star Wars force, but to force a card or some object onto someone. A lot of the times, going back to misdirection, a magician's going to make you think you're taking a card of your own free choice. But the reality is they're forcing that card onto you. There's a lot of different forces and everyone has their own personal preference. We're going to go a bit more in depth about how to force a card into someone in the techniques. The next term I want to talk about is flourishes. This is something you do to make a trick look fancy. It's something really simple in its concept, but goes a long way in tricks. It can be anything as simple as what I've just shown before, and it honestly turns into an art all on its own. When people get into magic, sometimes they just get into flourishes because honestly, it's a magic all on its own. The last term I want to talk about is probably the most important one to me. It's one of the most crucial ones I use. It's called the double lift. Double lifting is exactly as it sounds. You're lifting 2 cards. Now, I'm going to teach you more specifically how to do this later on in the video, but I just wanted to tell you that term before. Now that we know some of the terminology, let's get real technical and talk about some techniques. The first technique I'm going to go over with you today is called the Hindu shuffle. All you're going to do is take the bottom part of the deck, pull it up, put it on top. That's considered the Hindu shuffle. Even if you just take right there, you take another stack. That's the Hindu shuffle. This is going to be a really simple technique you're going to be using a lot. This can also turn into forcing a card on someone. So as you do your shuffle, you can square it up and you're going to see that bottom card. When someone takes a random card, we'll say for our sake, the 6 of hearts. That's going to be their card. They picked it randomly from the deck. We're going to do our Hindu shuffle. We're going to take a look at the bottom card. For this sake, it's the Joker. We're going to put it right there on top of the deck and snugly place it on top. The reason this is important is we may not know what their card is, but we know the Joker is on top of it. So later on in a trick, if we decide to look through the deck, there's the Joker, that's going to be their card. So that's the Hindu shuffle and how to find a card and force a card on someone. The next technique I'm going to be showing you is called the slip force. This is another great way to force a card on someone. It's going to take a little preparation. First and foremost, you need to know what the top card of the deck is. This is the card you're going to force onto the person. So in this example, we have the 3 of spades. It's going to go right there on the top of the deck. Now we're going to riffle through the deck and someone's going to tell us to stop. We'll say here, for example. Now what you do is I'm going to do this in slow motion and then I'll do it in fast pace. You're going to hold a very tight grip on the top of the deck and you're going to pull it out and you're going to keep that top card there and place this back at the bottom. This way you're forcing the card on the top. I know it seems pretty obvious right now, but if I was to do it in a fast pace, you can see that it's very hard to catch. If you practice this enough, it's going to become very hard to notice. The big thing is you want to practice that misdirection and have them look somewhere else while you do this. And that is the slip force. This next force is called the little finger force. What you're going to do is once again, find a card you want to put onto someone. For this example, we'll use the Jack of Spades. What you're going to do is take half the deck and place it on top. Here's the important part. Your little finger, your pinky, you're going to keep it right there. So when you see the front of the deck, it looks like it's secure, but on the back side, the pinky's actually holding it. Once you get good enough, you can get a very tiny break. For this example, I'm going to use a pretty big break. So someone's going to tell us to rifle through the deck. They can say stop at any point. So say they say to stop here. You're not actually going to pull to that card. What you're going to do is pull at that pinky break and pull the deck there. And it looks as if you pulled where they said to stop. And wouldn't you know it, it's the Jack of Spades. So one more time. The Jack of Spades is right here. My pinky is holding a break on the deck. Someone tells me when to stop, and I pull to where my pinky is, and it's the Jack of Spades. From there, you can continue on a trick of your choice. So did you catch how I did the trick? If not, let's go into it. First, I'm choosing what card to force on the magic hands, or the participant. I'm going to be choosing the Ace of Spades. I'm going to cut the deck and take that little finger break. Once the magic hands tell me when to stop, I'm breaking to the card I chose. Now here's the crazy part. This is a genuine and true shuffle. I really am losing the card. One of 2 things is going to happen right now. I'm either going to show the Ace of Spades and it's going to be a miracle, or odds are I don't get it. And that's okay. The point is to not get it. After that, we're doing something where we're showing them, we're looking at every single card. Is this your card? Is this it? No, no. What I'm doing is I'm randomly going front and back to look non-conspicuous. Once I find the Ace of Spades, because I know that's their card, I put it at the front. And I'm going to keep going and showing cards. And then I'm going to right and truthfully say I give up. Now, all the preparation is done. The Ace of Spades is at the top of the deck. You're ready to perform. That's right, your double lift. So we take 2 cards. Oh no, I've messed up again. I'm not a competent magician. That's not your card. And we're going to put it right at the top of the deck. But through some misdirection and illusion, the card that was already on the top is the Ace of Spades. The really important part here is buying into the trick. You want the person to believe that you don't know how to do magic, you're a beginner, but in reality, the trick was happening all along. Thank you. The last technique I'm going to teach you is a personal favorite of mine, the double lift. As the name suggests, you're going to be picking up 2 cards and making them appear as one. So this card looks like it's just 1 card. You can even bend it just to show it, but it's 2. There's a few ways to perform a double lift. First is you can have someone hold a card in their hand and say they're looking at that card and really memorizing it. While they do that, you're going to get your pinky break like I was showing you before on 1 card right here. Then when the person puts their card back, it's secretly ready for a double lift. This way you can put their card on top and make it appear as if it changed. Another way to do a double lift, a little more subtle, is you riffle through the cards and you stop at 2 cards. This can be a bit more advanced and will take a lot of practice. So let's show it again. I'm going to riffle through and I'm going to stop at 2 cards instead of the last card. Why is this technique important? Because it allows for some pretty cool effects. A very simple one right now is we have this Queen of Diamonds. I'm going to place it on top of the deck and I'm going to put it in the middle of the deck. And slowly and surely, it goes back at the top. Just to demonstrate how that was done, in case you missed it, I'm taking 2 cards right here at the top. I'm showing you this 8 of clubs. Now I'm going to take the top card, 3 of diamonds, place it in the middle of the deck. Giving it some magic mumbo jumbo and illusion, I make it look as if the card is magically jumping to the top. And there it is. So that's a double lift.
That was really awesome. Thank you all for coming along for this ride. There are 2 more things I want to talk about before I go. And they're the 2 most important things when it comes to practicing magic. The first thing, keeping it a secret. When you chose to watch this video, it was a choice. You decided to shatter that illusion and learn how magic's actually performed. But for someone you perform tricks for, you can't make that choice for them. It is up to you to keep it a secret and keep that magic alive. The second thing is practice, practice, practice. Practice in front of a mirror, practice in front of a camera until you know you have it perfect. I cannot stress how important it is that you have it completely down before you show someone. I know it can be tempting when you get it right the first time to show someone, but if you really want to amaze them and get it right every time, make sure you're ready for it beforehand. I hope you all were able to learn a lot and hope you're all able to practice. Remember, the resources are out there if you want them. Now here's Deon with some closing remarks.
Thanks, Brandon. Hi, everybody. My name's Deon, and I'm a former lead and current instructor with Outdoor Outreach. If you enjoyed the video that you saw here today, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook and Instagram page so that if you would like to stay updated on community guidelines about how to be outside safe, we'll do that for you. Just follow us on those platforms. We also have a live stream happening this Friday, and you are more than welcome to come join us. If you can't, however, just know that you can find the recorded version of that video here on this YouTube channel. Lastly, we always try to send you off on some feel-good news, and to celebrate the class of 2020, we would like to connect you to SGN's graduation episode.